Hey there, and welcome back to Cosmic Crypto. In this video, we're going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR. Let's go. All right, welcome back to the channel. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, it's right down below, right next to the like button. So if you're down there, go ahead and hit both of them. Subscribe and like. Appreciate it. HBAR Hedera Hashgraph. This is looking really good. So let me fix my fib here. It's a bit off. There we go. So on the weekly time frame, just want to do a quick update. We have broken above the 50 on the RSI. We have broken above the 0 line on the trend directional market cipher B here. Our volume is not continuing to increase, but it is getting nice volume coming in. We had this falling wedge that we have broken out of with some nice green candles here. And we were struggling. So I had put a fib from the top here at the 0.58 cent level all the way down to the bottom. And let me pull this a little closer here. And so we had been struggling to get above this 236 Fibonacci level, which is sitting at the 0.687 area. So we'd had the breakout. We've been struggling to, get any further above it. Get my lines here. So we did actually, okay, let me see here. Zoom in. So we had that just barely peak above it. And then you can see this weekly candle here is just trying to hold on for dear life above this 236 Fibonacci. And now we're finally starting to get a nicer candle kind of form here. It's not the greatest, but it is bigger than the last one. And we still have 16 hours and 40 minutes to go on this weekly time frame. And my next price target for Hedera Hashgraph to the upside is around 10 cents, which is right around the 382 Fibonacci, which is also lining up perfectly with the 50 EMA right here as well, which is this red line right there. Let's zoom into the daily time frame. And it's just been toying with us sideways here. So, I mean, we had this nice move up. We broke above the 200 daily EMA. And then as you can see, we got pushed back down and we've been getting rejected basically off that 200 EMA for multiple days here. And finally, we had this candle right here, which was on February 3rd, Friday, go above it. And now we're trying to find out what we're going to do here. So we were completely overbought. We were hitting the 88 to 90 level on the RSI. We had a red dot come in on the market cipher, and that's what had pushed us down a bit. But the good news here is we've just been going sideways. Instead of having a major correction for HBAR, it's basically just been ranging sideways, which is a good sign in my opinion. Now I'm going to put on my higher high, higher low here. I'm going to grab a fib from the very bottom here to the top. And you can see that we'd been kind of dancing and holding on the daily time frame around the 236 Fibonacci here, which is around the 0.6 cent area, just above the 0.6 cent area. And it kept trying to get pushed down to the 382, and it just couldn't do it. Which is telling me that this is still very bullish. I mean, this didn't even retrace down to the 0.5, didn't retrace to the 618. I mean, it couldn't even touch the 382. So this is still very bullish, in my opinion, and forming this sort of bull pennant flag here, which let's put a price target on that. And I wonder if it's going to bring us around to that 382. So if we go let's go from the bottom there to the top. Actually, that brings us quite a bit high. Oh, it brings us all the way. So the target for this, if this does turn out to be this bull pennant flag, brings us all the way up to the 0.5 fib, which is around the 14, just over 14 cent area. Now we have to get through the 382 Fibonacci first, but if we can blast through that, obviously the next target would be around that just over 14 cents, 14.20 to be exact. And so it looks like we're on our way there. We are getting this new wave forming here. I'm always cautious about these because I'm worried that these waves are going to be smaller than the previous wave and create another red dot. And so let me use my paint tool here and we'll just go. I'm worried whenever it does this that the wave will do something like that. And you'll get another red dot right in here, which then it's just a lower wave, which means we're losing momentum to the upside. And it's more likely that we get some kind of larger correction. Now, that doesn't mean we can't go higher in those instances. We can have a nice blast off to the upside, even while the wave is getting smaller. But once you start seeing these waves getting smaller, you got to start paying attention to a larger correction. But we're not there yet, so that's just something to pay attention to for the future. Going to the 12-hour time frame, you can see that we've been in this pennant for a while. We finally broke above it. We're still having some difficulty moving here, it looks like. The volume's just been staying steady. It looks like we're trying to get a push, and then it just, loses steam somehow during that run. Now, this is also weekend volume since we had the breakout, so I'm also wondering if we're going to get a pullback to retest this area. Not quite sure yet. We can go down to the lower time frames to kind of see what I'm thinking down there. But like I said, it's still looking extremely bullish for HBAR, looking at 10 cents and then 14 cents as my next two targets. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame here. Things are looking not terrible here. So we're forming a trend line to the upside. So from down here, this low right here, we're riding this trend line right now up. Let me get rid of this guy here. And so we're riding this up right now. Actually, let me bring that back and I'll put some fibs on there using this as a guide. So yeah, we still have we're creating the higher highs, higher lows in this run here, but it does look like we're losing some steam. We got this very high wick here. It looks like we tried to have a big breakout right here. And then it got pushed right back down on lower volume. And also that's during a weekend. So there's, it's hard to tell right there. But need to kind of pay attention. Like I said, I think there could be a chance that we come back down to retest this area around basically around the 60684 area to get a retest. That would retest this breakout of this pennant here. And also retest a fib line here as well. And the weekend price action, which is kind of bringing us up, might just get pushed back down. Could be just a giant wick. We don't know. But we also have a possible head and shoulders pattern forming here as well. Just something to pay attention to. This wick kind of makes me think otherwise, but just something to pay attention to, where actually that would bring us right down to the target of retesting that pennant. But you can see we've got a left shoulder ahead and a right shoulder kind of forming there. So in the shorter term, it kind of looks like there's a chance that we come back down to retest that pennant. Otherwise, if we don't retest that pennant, you heard my price targets already. This target is obviously the first one's up to 10 cents. And then after that, if the pennant actually plays out to its fullest, we're going all the way up to hit this next fib line on the macro time scale at the $0.14 0.1420 area at the 0.5 Fibonacci. So those are my two price targets for the future, which I think we're going to reach probably. I don't want to put a time frame on it, but if I were to just put out my best guess, maybe in the next few months to get up to that point. But in the shorter term, pay attention to that possible head and shoulders pattern forming. The breakdown target is exactly at that pennant to retest it. So there is that. Also, if this was just a symmetrical triangle pattern, we had a early breakout over the weekend, which I don't usually like to see the early breakouts. I like to see them when they get a little bit more squeezed down towards here. So the early breakout is also letting me know that there is a chance that we do come down to that, retest that pennant, and possibly even break down through the pennant. But that's for in a couple of days to see what actually happens there. But just pay attention to that. We do have this trend line rising, so also follow that. But also this trend line could be forming a rising wedge as well. And if that's the case, we're just about at breakdown point, which could have, if this does break down, pay attention. Tomorrow is Sunday, and usually I tend to see a lot of red on Sundays, but we'll just have to wait and see. So it also could be forming this rising wedge here, which is a bearish pattern, and the price target for this would actually be all the way down to the 0.63 area. But in bullish scenarios, I tend to see these things not go all the way down to their price target. And since we are moving to the upside in a bullish fashion, I would expect if this did break down, again, my price target to be right around that 0.6. Let's just put a 0.66 and through 0.68. Let's just say somewhere in there for it to break down to and find some support. That's pretty much all I got for HBAR. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.